All right, intro's playing. I'm gonna let it play it once, then go from there.
Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious.
Bot Ricks, your support is appreciated. Follower and sub gifts will given out monthly via the vibe. Let's blow the freak up.
Can you hear me?
XCO Shots X have a dope stream Brody.
Can you hear me? No?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. All right, here we go. We need to figure that out a little better. A little better. We getting it. Okay, we live, baby. We live. You hiding. You hiding. Welcome, everybody. We back to episode those baby. We got those babies. Episode 2. We here. We live. We got Ahmad James in Germany. I'm here in DC area. You know how we do it. How you doing today, bruh?
Man, it's 12:12. Feeling good.
Ooh, I think we went on live. I was thinking we were a little late, but I think we got on just in time then. Perfect
Hey,
timing.
we ain't never late. We always on time.
Indeed, indeed. I want to say appreciate the car, Bachelors, ACL shots for coming in early in right away, showing that love. Appreciate y'all. We got a pretty dope podcast today. We have some specific questions we're gonna go over. I think that today is gonna get pretty real, right quick. So the schedule looks like we're gonna have 5 questions, and we're gonna ask each other the questions. We're gonna go through and answer honestly and as authentic as possible. No, yeah, possible. I guess. Good word for it. And kind of get into more of that type of conversations about ourselves and kind of keeping each other accountable, things in that nature. So I'm gonna pass it over to Mr. Ahmad and kind of get your description of what you got planned. What are your hopes for today with this conversation?
Okay. Basically, the topic we're going to talk about is what we stressed last time. Happiness is a choice. And the five
Intoxicated DJ.
questions are going to go over basically what was going on or what happened at the time that you realized your emotions as well as your life was in your hands, like you controlled and dictated how that was, not your emotions controlling you. So that's what we're gonna lead into. um so I'll go ahead and ask the first question.
All right.
And but before I start, I hope everybody has had a great last 2 weeks, has been leading with love, taking time to laugh, whether it's at themselves or with somebody else,
Mm.
and also always learning, always taking time to read a book, learn something new, try to coding, anything. As long as you're using your mind and you're learning and you're getting in there and creating new neural links within the brain or the wrinkles, or so they say. That's a great thing to do. So
Mm.
what I'm going to start with is this for obviously DJ and all those that are listening. If you haven't got to this point, that's okay. If you have, try to answer these questions yourself, and at least try and articulate or put words with maybe the emotions you may have when you hear these questions or when you're trying to answer these questions. Okay.
I love that.
So the first one will be, what point did you know you had to change your mindset and yourself to live the life you want?
Hmm. You know, I know I've had this question for a long time, and still hard to really put into
I'm gonna
words.
need you to speak up though.
Ooh, okay, my bad, my bad. Let me get a little
A little
closer. Let me
bit.
get a little closer. I hear you. I hear you. Um,
Tinnitus.
tonight. So yeah, man. I know I've had this question before. We've kind of talked about it before in the past, and still to this day, it's a little hard to fully answer that. But I will do my best today. And so I think looking back, the point where I knew something had to change, and it wasn't anything external, but it's something internal had to start changing. And that point, I was in California and San Diego, and after a few suicide attempts, I found myself over 300 pounds stuck in this beautiful place, great weather. I had a pool outside near the beach. The just amazing place, but internally I was in a living hell, and I had everything that I could imagine as far as what I needed, material things, and I wasn't anywhere. And so if it wasn't the outside, it was the inside. I didn't know where I was gonna find that, but I knew that I wasn't gonna find it if I didn't move. Physically, I had to move, and so I made a conscious decision of separating myself from material things, and I sacrificed quite a bit. I sold all my possessions, house, car, clothing, everything, and I decided to travel. And the moment that I made that choice and basically started giving things away and selling the things that I could, the only thing I had kept for myself for the beginning was my car and clothing and my service animal. And that part, when I had everything gone and I had no other option to get on the road, that was the moment I knew, my mindset had to change, because although I was still horribly in a dark place, I was actually excited to do something. I was excited to get on the road. I was excited. I made a promise to myself I was going to see a bunch of friends that I haven't seen from the service, all these other things, and I was doing. And as hard as it was, as much as inside I wanted to say, nah, it wasn't worth it, or nah, this is gonna suck, or whatever. All those negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts, I fought those every single minute, and made started making the opposite choices that I normally make. So rather than isolate, I got on the car and started driving, and that for me was the big change that I realized that I had to implement every second, doing the opposite of what I normally did, and that was began to change my mindset.
Wow, that's pretty deep, man.
Appreciate that. Um,
Pretty
and
deep.
and then yeah, I would like to bounce that question back to you now.
Uh, at what point did I have to change my mindset? It was probably around 2016. Work, um, work wasn't bad, but it just wasn't working out the way that I wanted it to at that point. Obviously, being divorced, having struggles with that, trying to be a present father, um, when at the time someone doesn't want you to be.
Mm,
Um, and realizing basically how my life was all of my actions that I had already chosen to do. So at that point, I felt I was just getting payback or karma. That's what everybody likes to say, for the lifestyle that I had lived up to that point. Um, and I just kept things bottled up. I kept pushing forward. And as I started looking around, realizing that the life that I was living wasn't even the life that I wanted to live. I was doing it for everything, everyone else, and everything else, but it wasn't for me. So at that point, that's when I realized I needed to change something. I I need to. I don't know. I was looking for a reset. You know, um, obviously suicide was that a thought? It was a thought. I didn't try it, but it definitely was a thought. Many thoughts, many times a day. But I was looking to just kind of vanish from the life that I existed in at that time and just end up somewhere else where I had no obligations, there were no expectations, and I could just be. I could just be myself and be in my thoughts and be at peace.
Mm.
And that's kind of what I was looking for. And I too, I took a lot of my clothes. I took a lot of things that I had, realizing that I didn't need those because none of those things gave me joy. They didn't make me feel any better, and I wasn't using them. So why not give them to somebody that could use them and be grateful for them and wear them and do all that? So yeah, shoes, clothes, a lot of things got donated or turned in or just gave it to somebody, whoever was willing to take it. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and then obviously from that point, I went to therapy, and then as shit got worse, um, further on, I checked myself in because the frustration and anger that I had toward myself and the life that I was living, I was just disgusted with everything. So I was just pissed off, and I was looking. I was just pissed off. I felt disrespected all the time. I felt nobody understood me, and I was just angry. So at that point, that's when I knew I had to do something to change because it was starting to affect my home life. So
Mm. Thanks, man. That's a lot to put out, and for some people, it's hard to go back and speak on things in the past because it's reliving it or having to think about it brings those feelings back, and that for me was the reason why I feared my past, and so I appreciate you always having that space with me to have honest conversations, to have that time and really face what I quote unquote fear. And that was myself and the feelings that came on from speaking on things that I didn't want to share with people. And now we are sitting here having a podcast, sharing, how those things that we held on for so long, and so that's pretty dope to be here right now. And I want to make go into the second question. But do you want to answer the second question, or would you like to, or would you like to? What are you? Are you princing me right now, bro? Or do you wanna? You want me to you answer the next question?
at one, I do need you to speak up because I feel like,
Okay,
huh,
gotcha. I'm trying to
and then
remember my
two,
mic. Uh huh.
and then two, it, you could go, I could go. It's just about you know putting our experiences out there, and whoever relates.
All right,
And
cool.
that's the thing. Letting them know, everything is a choice.
We'll keep it
And
fucking moving then. I love that. I love that. Since we're talking about emotions, right? When did you realize your life and emotions were in your control?
Ooh. So after I got admitted to another outpatient clinic, we had to do an exercise where you get a box, and on the outside you cut out pictures and you put everything of what you want people to see, and then on the inside you put everything that people don't know or you don't want them to see. And then once you put it together, you have to sit in front of everybody and explain what each picture meant and why you did it. And that was a very that was very hard. As you can see, I broke down, and that was the first time that I kind of was vulnerable with other people, other than maybe your mother or somebody close, a complete stranger in a sense, and just saying this is me. This is why I did this. This is why I wanted to be put together, because on the inside I was falling apart. Foundation was cracked. I didn't trust my thoughts. I didn't trust myself. And I had to sit there and explain that. And it was definitely a eye-opening moment. It was a moment that also was liberating, because it was like letting go of all that shit that I was holding on to, trying to tell people I was perfect and I'm okay when in reality I wasn't. So that was the first big step, um, to doing that. And then I would say after that, and truly forgiving myself, giving myself grace, and I would say a year to 6 months, maybe 8 months after that, I just sat there one day and I was like, dang, man, is it possible that my attitude affects my perspective? And I realized, then also, I knew, but you know how there's things about you, but you don't want to accept, and everybody tells you, but you're like, man, y'all don't know what you're talking about. So you get offended
Oh yeah.
because you know it's true. I was a negative person. So as I sat there and I started looking at it, I was like, dang, a lot of times my attitude and my thought process of already knowing that the situation is going to be bad or it's going to be stupid or it's going to be boring already formulated the outcome of what it was going to be. And I didn't realize that with every new experience, everything that was happening, I would always say, oh, watch, I'm not going to get a parking space. Oh, this is going to happen. Watch, they want money. And I would talk about all these negative and bad things. And then when they happen, I'd be like, see, this is what I'm talking about, not realizing I'm the one speaking all this up. Two, I was so negative and not optimistic at all that I wasn't open to any new experiences. So really, I wasn't living at all. I was just existing. And with each opportunity, with each moment that was passing, I was basically creating like a fort or a box around myself. And I just sat in all this negativeness. And as I realized, like, my mindset, my thought patterns, my emotions, how everything was tied in, I was like, man, let me start being positive. Because if my attitude can trigger being more optimistic and help my perception on what my reality actually is, then I think I can change something about that. And it will change for the better. Therefore, I'm gonna just be in better spirits. And I started practicing that, and I saw a difference within 30 days. Like, man, you know, and it all started from understanding I am a good person. It all started from I am enough. It all started from I am everything I need to be happy. And realizing what we are or what we've already established on the inside is a reflection of what we're going to get on the outside. And
Mm.
once I understood that, it was like, why would I want to continue to have negative stuff happen to me when it's simple? It's a simple choice of instead of saying, I'm going to be late, I'm on time. There's going to be a parking spot. It doesn't have to be in the front. Man, this is a great movie. Hey, I am open to meeting new people and not being so judgmental or oh this isn't the people I hang with or this isn't that. That's not what all this is about. It's about being fluid. It's about being open and having new experiences. And that it just was exciting for me. So once I started doing that, I did start seeing the benefits from it. Now, negative thoughts still come. There's days, obviously, you're not just feeling yourself, so you're a little negative. But again, that's where with that now self-awareness you have, you can say, hey, I don't, I'm gonna have a good day, regardless of what's going on, and I understand that I can have a minute to be in my mood, but the mood is not gonna dictate my whole day. So, but yeah, for me, that was the biggest thing is realizing that I can control it and that my emotions no longer have to control me. And therefore, if I want a better situation, if I want to feel better, it's all a matter of choice and me making that choice and taking action.
Well said, brother. That's definitely I can resonate with everything you said there. Especially
Can't hear you.
the I can definitely resonate with everything you've been mentioning, especially the being honest with somebody other than your close people, and being your authentic self in front of people. That aspect is definitely difficult for myself, for in my life as well. And as far as realizing, life and emotions were in my control, that was I heard a similar thing. I think I was back in 2014 when I began my healing journey with, speaking to therapists and going to programs and things in that as well that was provided by the VA. And the question rose up
Snippenhammer volume a
then,
little low.
and it definitely the mic. People mentioning that the mic is low too. I'm all up on the mic. I don't know why it's all the way down. Um, I will try to speak up for show. My bad. The maybe I'm
I'm
too
not
low. Maybe I
no,
was
do I
very
right? Go
yeah.
ahead. Huh?
Right? No, but you're not the
Huh?
only one. You're not the only one. Yeah, Snippin came in here and said the volume a little low, so I'm gonna try to definitely bring it up a little bit more. So my life and emotions in my control. Again, yeah, in 2016 it began, and it was
Snippenhammery do got them waxy ears, haha.
I I couldn't know, I didn't know how to answer that. You know what I mean? And so the therapist told me, you know what? Look at it this way: you want a different life, fake it till you make it. And I was so angry at that
Bot Rickster
concept
support is
of
appreciated.
faking it
Follower
till
and
you
sub
make
gifts
it.
will
I'm
given
like,
out monthly. We are the
what do
vibe.
you
Let's blow the fuck
mean?
up.
What do you mean fake it till you make it? Like I couldn't put it into a actual thought that I would believe in, that I had to basically lie to myself to be or feel something. That didn't make any sense to me. And so I went at least another 4 or 5 years trying to fake it till I made it, and I couldn't understand that concept, and so nothing was changing for me. And like I mentioned earlier, that I decided to go on that road trip, or decided to, get rid of all my possessions and begin my traveling journey. That is when I realized, holy crap, I was sacrificing so much to be in that dark mental place, in the, nobody loves me, the unhealthy, overweight, just very miserable. I was making all those choices to be there. I wasn't moving. I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing anything, but those negative things to myself. So I was having a negative lifestyle. I was having a horrible lifestyle, a horrible experience in this shared universe. And so it made sense then that if I can create this type of negative life for myself, I have to be able to make something different. I have to be able to create something beautiful for myself too. And I just didn't know how, because I still didn't believe in it. I started to understand it, but didn't believe in it. And so going through one state and the next state, and going to see a friend here and see a friend there, and realizing their struggles and their wins, and all these different things that is just happening in the world, it made me realize, one, I wasn't alone. Two, we all have similar issues deep down inside, just they look different in the outside because of who we are, and where we've been, and all this other thing. So with that, it started opening my eyes, because I would hear myself in everybody that was in a dark place. I can hear why, yeah, going outside, nah man, that doesn't work. Getting some sun, hugging a tree, nah, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? And when I began to do those things, and I began to ground and meditate, and do these yogas and all these different things that I didn't believe it worked, I started noticing small changes in my life. And when I started noticing those small changes in my life, I realized, holy crap, I think I can live the life that I want. And so I began to be honest with myself, and it's like, what do I want? What do I want for my life? Well, I've always wanted to travel. I know that. I want to see the world. I want to experience new cultures. I want to eat the foods of, from the smallest towns and the remote areas and whatnot. And I want to, live this experience, this one beautiful world. I want to live it, experience it, and I can, if I sacrifice certain things in my life that will allow me to do this. And when I started sacrificing those things began to manifest in my life, man. As you are a witness of it, business, and in the book, we published the books, and we're you're across the world, and we're going here, we're going there, and we have plans to do so much. It is being in Germany, standing next to you, and having a conversation with a German gentleman, that we were able to say everything that we have accomplished and how far we've come from where we first met back, 15 years ago. It it I think that moment right there, when you looked at me and you were like, "Wow, how does it feel?" I think that is when I started believing, truly believing in my heart, that my life and my emotions are in my control. For real.
Man, that's powerful.
Mm. It
'Cause that was just 2 days ago.
indeed, indeed. And I
So no,
want.
but that's good. Whether it was 6 months, 2 years, 6 years, or a day. I mean, it's gaining that awareness and understanding that with that belief is that ultimate power, man.
That's it.
That's that to me. That's the X factor. That
Mm.
belief.
I believe in that now. That is for sure. Because I was like, nah, it's gotta be something. It's gotta be something more than that. It can't.
Uh-huh.
It can't be that simple. It can't be that easy. You know what I mean? And
But it
realize
is.
it really is, brother. It really is.
It is, man. I, it's just amazing how really simple things are,
Mm.
and that's what I really started realizing is stretches of my whole life. I overcomplicated, I overthought, I overanalyzed. I made a good situation into a bad one, and it was just unnecessary, man. But that's just where I was at. But I will say this: I'm grateful for all of those experiences because I truly believe if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be where I am now and have that awareness for myself and have a better understanding of how I want to maneuver,
Mm,
in this world or in this universe, however we want to say it at this time.
yeah. That's a good way to put it. I think personally, I understand what you're meaning. Uh,
Yeah.
and so, what would you think, or what kind of feelings would you put into words, uh, after that you felt after you realizing that your life and emotions were in your control?
So first I wanted to like do like the old days, go to all the churches and ring the bells. You know what I'm saying?
I found the
And
way.
just tell everybody like, man, you don't believe it. It's just this simple. All you gotta do, but then obviously I had to peel it back and understand not everybody's ready.
Mm,
And again, you believe what you believe. And if you don't think your attitude is bad, it's not bad. If you think your life is perfect and there's no need to change it, then you won't change it. So everybody's at different places and there's different steps that everybody is going to be at different times. So mine initially, I wanted to tell everyone. Then I realized, one, that's not my place. Um, it was more for me to understand it. So the emotion was just excitement, joy, and honestly, just a sense of liberation. Um, because it was like the shackles were off. Like I can control this. Now it's not easy, and I understood that, and there's gonna be days I'm gonna have to battle with myself, but at the end of the day, it's still my choice. It's not fate. It's not someone else. It's me. And as long as I can be aware and understand that any situation is just an obstacle. I have no problems. I create my problems. But in reality, I have no problems. I just have obstacles. There are opportunities. There are things I need to learn. There are old habits. I need to understand why I do it and then understand there's a time and place. But in the big scheme of things, I'm in control. So it was just a sense of joy and I would say liberation of just or relief, like
mm.
I can do this, you know.
That's deep, man. And I think you did a great job explaining the feelings, specifically calling out the specific feelings. And for me, the liberation was the one that spoke out to me the most, right? That breaking free and wanting the excitement, wanting to tell everybody. Also, I believe in feelings are a way to help the body or this meat suit of mine to experience the thoughts that I'm having, internally. So it connects my mind to the bodysuit, as I would like to say. And so with that, also like to say that feelings are not real, right? But they are very real because we feel them. Like when I feel scared, my body shakes and probably a little sweat come out, a little poop poop. You know what I'm saying? uh, so it's definitely real. But what I mean in the sense that just because I'm sad, depressed, doesn't mean that my life is the most horrible life. It doesn't mean I have to quit or have to stop trying. And so it helps me to remember that although I'm feeling something, that feeling won't last forever. and I have the power to change that as well, like we said earlier, right? And so if that's the case, it how it helps me understand it better for myself. But um, in the sense of putting names to feelings, excitement was definitely one for me when I was able to believe in controlling my life and emotions was that easy. And yeah, I love hearing you speak about your experiences and your thoughts because sometimes it helps me, fight my own intrusive thoughts, and I have many of them. So that's pretty dope for me to hear what you got to say a lot. And so, what with the awareness that you're having now, right? What did you gain? What did you gain about yourself in life?
Um, that's a good question. Um, I think the biggest thing that I'm starting to see is just the awareness of I'm not liable for other people's reactions.
Mm,
You know, what I say, what I'm doing is things for me. And if someone else has an issue or a problem, 9 times out of 10, it's their issue or problem. It has nothing to do with me because I'm not doing no ill will. I'm not talking bad about anybody. You know, I'm not doing any of those things. And I just started with, awareness, the ability to regulate my emotions in situations where the old me would short tempered, the tit for tat, those that's in relationships, married. It's so easy to just get in there and just, well, I do it because of you. And then it's just back and forth. And before you know it, it's a 20 to an hour conversation of just pointless talk that goes nowhere. And with each thing said, each person is trying to cut deeper than the last. And before you know it, the resentment is built. And now it's a whole nother thing you got to get over later. So for me, it's just being aware of where other people are and whether I need to entertain it or not. Understanding if they're upset, that's probably something they have to deal with. It's not my problem. I'm not here to fix anybody. I'm not here to make anybody happy. I'm here to experience things and be a positive addition to the experience that they're already having. That's what I want to try and lead with now is just being an
I
added
am
thing, but
Archulix. Have
I'm
a
not
good
the
one, brother.
source of the happiness, you know?
mm,
Um, and
Intoxicated
I
DJ.
guess the last thing is just it's allowing me to regulate my thought process and my emotions so I can be more proactive and not reactive, I should say. And that's a big thing being pro because now I can think things through and look at a situation for what it may be and understand that situation and not take it negatively as I would have before. Oh, this person's disrespected me, or this is happening this way. This person just doesn't like me. Where in reality, that person could just be honestly having a bad day, or they don't even see me. They're dealing with something else, but I'm taking it personal when in reality, it has nothing to do with me.
mm-hmm,
So for me, that those are the big keys. Is just able to slow everything down for me to process everything and understand that at the end of the day, I am who I am and I am enough. And really say it, embody it, believe it, and feel good, you know.
mm,
And so that's probably the biggest thing for me is just being able to regulate myself. Therefore, I'm not being reactive to my surroundings.
that's great insight, bro. I think that excuse me. I think that that part of awareness that you spoke on is important, and I was lacking that as well. Um, something for me that I would still today, this day, I still kind of working on and fighting is the also you talked about it a little earlier as far as wanting to tell everybody, right, and wanting to include people, and doing something great, and it's like, oh, I know such and such, they're in the same path, and you may let me hit them up, and invite them to this thing that I got going on, and da 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 da, and really trying to be a healthy uh, portal of information and activities, and human connection and all these things. And I'm so excited to, one, do it for free if I can, or at the very least the most affordable way for people to be able to do it for themselves. And a lot of things that we can do are free, and that's sharing knowledge, and helping one another, support through conversation, or whatever is the little things that we can do, being there for one another. And with that, feeling like I'm people wondering if I'm a scam, or people not coming through, or people not not seeing the same benefits that I see at the current time. And for me, that was difficult because it made me question, are people really out there really trying to come together and make friends, and create a community of, well, similar minded people that want to elevate to a new level and help one another, whether that's in business and family, and whatever it is. And feeling like people coming in short on that, there was something wrong with me, right? There was something I
Yeah.
was saying wasn't there, or the delivery of the message wasn't there, or maybe I just looked like that shady ass person or something. And
Or maybe there was some expectation.
indeed, indeed, that could be another thing, And so accepting that I don't have to participate in anybody else's reality, and if I focus on myself and do things for myself as I'm going through my journey, people like that will organically gravitate towards me, like yourself. You know what I mean? We've been
100%.
we've been friends for this long because I wasn't trying to be XYZ. I wasn't trying to sell you anything. I was just there, man, and you gave me an opportunity to just to be myself, and normally do the things that I normally don't do, which is joke around and dance and just be goofy. And at the time I was drinking a lot, and everybody judged me for it. And you were just like, man, if you need to fucking drink, drink. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch your back. I got you. Uh, and that for me was for a moment, like, wow, okay, I don't have to drink, and I can if I want to. I want to experience this without it, And sometimes I did drink, and sometimes I didn't, and both times were great times. And for me, that made me realize that I was the happiness was not dependent on anything external; it was internal, and being around similar-minded people intensified that. And so, I am now getting at a place where, rather than trying to tell the world, and rather to guide the world anywhere, just being my authentic self, having conversations with cool, similar minded people, and through that, organic growth will come. And so that was
Yeah.
definitely an awareness that about
And,
myself in
and
life.
and no matter what conversation you get in, you always reserve the right to have no opinion.
Mm, that's a big one.
And that's key, man. Like you don't have to comment, you don't have to say. Because I noticed I used to do that, kind of cut people off a lot because it wasn't that I was trying to be rude. I just didn't want to forget my point that I was trying to make. And then the other thing was I would always add 2 cents at the end. Oh, that's great, but I would have done this, or I think this is better than that. And realizing nobody asked me for that,
Mm,
and being mindful of like, dang, if someone doesn't ask, I don't need to add anything. I just need to be happy for them. So I guess the other thing that I did leave off, besides the self-awareness, is also gratitude would probably be a big one.
mm,
Um, I am able now to the cup's always gonna be half full. And I'm not looking at things as problems. I'm looking at them as obstacles. And with every situation, you can find something positive. You just have to look. And that's where my mindset is at this point.
Mm.
You know, things are gonna happen. That's just how life is. And it does that for a reason. It's to build resilience. It's to see, are you fluid? It's to see, the universe wants to see, are you truly thankful? Do you have that gratitude? Are you ready for that next step? So there's always going to be new situations. There are going to be people to test you, other things to see, are you learning? Are you really realizing that anything uh, dealing to the human experience, and people probably gonna look at me crazy, is not of that much importance. It just isn't.
Mm.
Taking ourselves too serious, having to make this job, having all this money, doing all these things. Again, those are all distractions from what we should be doing for ourselves, most importantly, and in turn, we will be able to help others. And that's the thing. Capitalizing what you need to know and feel comfortable in your own skin, loving yourself, and authentically being you, regardless who doesn't like it, whether it's your mom, dad, sister, brother, wife. This is, and at that point, you make a decision. I engage and I stay around the people, or I go to people that are going to celebrate me and celebrate my authenticity, to celebrate who I am, or I'll stay around negative people that's going to keep me in a negative state of mind, which is not going to be beneficial for me. So that's another hard thing. Once you have that awareness, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. What people do I need to keep at a distance? What people do I need to cut off completely?
That's hard.
Um, yeah,
Difficult.
and am I truly ready to reinvent myself? And the person that I knew before will no longer exist. It's as if you're being born again
Mm.
and having a whole nother mindset, believing everything is going to be beneficial for you. All those things that you believed you didn't have or your lack of, you now have. It's in abundance. It's here. It's everywhere. You just got to be open and look for
I like that
it. And
rebirth statement. That's a deep deep one that it took me a little while, but it wasn't until you showed me that cartoon, Bluey, where the
yeah,
dad,
Bluey, man. Like, yeah,
yeah,
that shit had me tearing up, man. I'm not
yeah,
even gonna lie, man.
and what that episode that I'm talking about, Chad, is really about where the kids are playing a game where you're just born that day and you're learning everything about life, and the dad is like, okay, starts playing it a little at the beginning, and it's just really indulging into it. And for me, looking looking at it and then really implementing that in my life, I could definitely see the difference in my perception and things, and really can be shifted, and it's a glorious thing, man. But at the same time, I see that I have to do that every single day because I want to revert back to my old way of thinking. My I know this better than such and such, and thinking that I already have all the answers, which I do, but at the same time, there's still more to learn, and not every answer that I thought I had is correct. And the more important thing, I realized that there's more than one answer, and it's all based on perception on those answers as well. So
100%, man.
yeah, letting that go was difficult.
Perception, man. Because in a sense, man, we're all saying the same thing. We just see it differently.
Mm,
That's it. You know, we just got to be fluid and respect each other's opinions. And the saying, "Hey, man, you like it? I love it."
love it.
Keep
I
doing it,
love it.
baby.
Let's
Hey,
go.
there's no need to
Exactly.
argue no more.
Indeed.
There's just no need. This person wanna, if it's something you don't agree, again, you reserve the right to not have an opinion.
Hmm.
And you just remove yourself from the conversation.
So with all this awareness and realizations, each and every day we say it's a battle. How do you keep your thoughts and emotions regulated daily?
In the morning, I have several affirmations that I do. Um, I do a little workout routine. Um, and the biggest thing with everything that I'm doing, I try to be grateful and present where my intention is only focused on that task at hand. So if I'm doing dishes, I'm just washing the dishes. I'm just wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi. But I'm grateful because I have dishes to wash, I have water. I'm just grateful for that experience that I get to do at that time. And spending time with my kids, it's taking that intention and that time to be a child again with them and actually look at things the way they are and get excited about things and be silly, man. And it's nice. It's nice to be in a moment and not have expectations and not worry about responsibilities and not feel like you have to be doing something. You're just there,
Mm.
just existing, being, seeing their smiles and being grateful that you can be here with them. It's a wonderful thing. So for me, obviously being present, um, and again, using the elevated wisdom, those quotes. Quotes help me a lot to stop my train of thought. What is that? What does this quote mean to me? What is it trying to say? And how can I apply it to this situation? That helps. And honestly, talking with you and this Scoop and some other people, just having conversations about new awarenesses we get, having a better understanding of myself, and just understanding I'm in the driver's seat. I'm in the driver's seat.
Mm.
So where are we going today? How good is this day gonna be? And why not? Every day you get up, make it the best day possible. And
That's a good one. Making every day as best
yeah,
as you can.
man, and that's so it's just for me, obviously, I said quite a few things, but obviously my affirmations help. Having a routine, and having intention on to just do the task, whatever that task is, only solely focus. Not be hanging out with the kids, but I'm worried about work and I got to do a report. So really, my attention is on the report and work. It's not on them. My body's physically there, but my mind is not. And that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying intention, it's everything. My mind, body, soul is engaged with whatever task it is, having fun. If it's cleaning up, and I'm only thinking of that and being in that moment because that's all that ever matters is that present moment that you're in at that point in time.
Mm.
The past is already the past and we haven't got to the future. So why are we worrying about things that we have no control over? Only focus on those things that you can control, which the main thing is yourself, your thoughts,
Mm.
your emotions. And that's the key to all of this. Just being aware you're in the driver's seat.
That's
Where
it.
you want to go?
Yeah, that's a huge, man. For me, I think the emotional regulation is, like you said, a daily task that begins from the moment I wake up. Usually because have chronic pain, I get up and I'm like, oh, it hurts to move, it hurts to this, it hurts to, so immediately my thoughts are negative, and so I have to be mindful from the beginning to, like, okay, well, I feel a little pain. Where do I feel the pain? Okay, is there anything that I can do? Which usually what helps is stretch out a little bit, not get out of bed, jump out of bed and start moving real quickly, taking my time, and really getting my day started on a positive note. I put in my meditation. I have, many steps to get myself there, but the point is starting from the moment I open up my eyes. And so the three areas that are really keep in mind of is mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so one, I have again the believing something different. That's spiritual for me. Uh, Doing physical things like stretching and other walking daily, taking care of myself physically helps me maintain a able body. May not be the best able body, but at least it keeps me able of moving, traveling, feeding myself, bathing myself, things in
See
that
right
nature.
there. It is the best able body because it is your body. And that is the
Indeed,
only one you have.
that's a great point
So don't
too.
second guess.
Yeah.
It's staying. This is
And that is truth, man. That is truth right there. And that's what I enjoy about our conversations. We continue to hold each other, and with active listening, we can hear where we're still straggling in some things, and we help each other stay aware of those points. And so I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, it is definitely it's not an easy task, and but with implemented things like you said, having a schedule, having things to do, and staying present on those things completely maximizes my day. For one, emotionally, I stay on a positive note most of the day, and spiritually, I continue to validate and prove to myself that doing healthy, good choices for myself and believing in myself will always create and continue to create a human experience that I truly appreciate and enjoy every single day. So it isn't easy, and it wasn't overnight. None of those things is not a magic pill, but definitely doable, and I am appreciative
Batsley Zinc
now to
KKKKKK.
be able to experience that, because before, like I said, I really wanted to take myself out of this experience because I didn't believe in something different, and now the mind shift of wanting to be here and believing in something good is,
there you go, that belief, man.
yeah.
And another thing is when you have a list and you get those things done, whether it's walking, cleaning up, washing clothes, there's a sense of accomplishment, right?
Mm,
And that always feels good when you complete a task that you've set out. And I think a lot of times we're so focused on these big tasks, these humongous things, college degrees, the promotion. We don't celebrate all those little small tasks and wins that we do throughout our life, throughout our daily things, um, that we should, because those small moments, those little tasks are in my opinion, are the ones that we should be focusing on because they're the ones we do routinely every day, and to be committed and to stick with it and do it and to experience that is something we should be proud of,
mm,
and not be looking at, well, I didn't achieve this at this point, or I haven't got this. But again, the question will be, is that what you truly want, or is that what someone's saying you should get, or that's something you want to get? but you have no intention on doing it, doing the things to get it. And that could be another topic for another day. But yeah, a lot of times we get disappointed because we don't have certain things, but we did nothing to prepare. We did nothing to achieve the thing we're disappointed about. Because in reality, we love the idea of having it, but we don't want to put the work in.
Mm.
So we got to be honest with ourselves. And that's why it's good to have a routine, have a little checklist. So when we get those things done, we can feel good, a sense of accomplishment. And if we didn't, understand why we didn't, and it's okay. We'll get it again tomorrow.
That's it,
You
man.
know.
Uh,
So
Another great conversation today. A lot of important things and truths were said. And I appreciate you being here and sharing this time with me, brother. And chat, thank you for participating. Thank you for coming in here and chatting and listening to us. And hopefully, were able to hear something, an experience or thought that you share that are similar. And if you have similar goals in life and looking for these type of conversations to keep you accountable and keep you motivated, this is what we do for each other, and we're here to do it for whoever needs to hear these things. And so, Ahmad, appreciate you again, brother. We'll be coming up. Do you want to do this next week again on Friday, or are we keeping it on the two?
oh, we'll stick to every other week.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Um, and that way, we can knock out some of the other things. But I would like to thank everybody that stopped by, everybody that will be coming by. Welcome. And I just hope, well, we got to change. No hope. I know that what we're discussing and what we're talking about is relatable for all. So those that want to, take some things from the
That's late date.
conversations, apply it, try it, feel free. And know that you are not alone with whatever you're going through, even though at the time it may be that you think you are,
Mm,
but you're not. Most of us are going through something or have gone through something. So, and again, at the end of the day, we say it, happiness is a choice. Everything in life is just, it's a choice.
happiness is a choice, and we chose happiness, and we continue to choose it. So thank
Indeed,
you.
baby.
And what are the three L's again?
What's up?
What are the three L's again?
Oh shit. Let me hit you with the last one. So lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.
Yes,
Those are the
sir.
three L's, man. I think those are very important, man. You gotta lead with love, just be open, not judgmental. Taking time to laugh, whether it's laughing at yourself or, putting the wrong socket in something or driving down the wrong street. We do it, everybody does funny things but don't get so serious about it. Laugh at yourself or something else. And the last one, never stop learning. I think that is the key. And the big thing when I say never stop learning about yourself.
Mm,
That's Lay's
So
way
one.
our stronger is
I
one.
hope everybody has a great and wonderful weekend.
Indeed,
And
indeed.
until next time,
We are here at
peace.
Elevated Wisdom.